This is a barrier designed to keep Hamas in, and Hamas decided they didn't want to be kept in anymore. But when Hamas made entry into a kibbutz, understand they knew who the security forces were. They knew where the weapons were. They had very good intelligence, and their job was to eliminate the ability of the Israelis to resist this attack. So, yeah, they attacked homes. They attacked the homes of the security force, and people died. It's tragic. But this wasn't the wanton slaughter of civilians, innocents, and stuff that the Israelis are putting out. This was a carefully calibrated military assault with distinct military objectives. The other civilians, the Israelis have made, a lot of noise about the over 260 ravers. These young people out in a party in the desert, near Gaza, and Hamas hang gliders landed amongst them. And according to the Israeli narrative, they were slaughtered by Hamas. Hamas just ran amok and killed these people. They were trying to escape, but the evil Hamas shot them down. What they don't talk about is that there was actually Israeli security forces in the area who engaged Hamas in a crossfire. Many of the people were killed in that crossfire. Hamas wasn't targeting these civilians per se. Hamas was engaged in a fight. And then the Israeli helicopters showed up. And there's leaked footage now. Israel has tried to show, this length of burned out cars, burned out vehicles, cars shot up on the road, cars slaughtered, bodies everywhere. Hamas didn't do that. The Israelis did it. The Israelis came in with their helicopters. The pilots themselves admit they had no way of discriminating between targets. If it moved, it died. So the pilots killed the vast majority of these Israelis. Israeli pilots killed the vast majority of the people who lost their lives at this rave. Hamas's goal wasn't to go out and occupy territory. Hamas's goal was to defeat the Israeli military, embarrass them, then go out and disrupt as much of the Israeli military activity as possible to take hostages. And they had a deliberate idea where they were going to go to get the hostages and bring the hostages back. Now, you'll say, Scott, taking hostages, that's like a war crime, dude. Well, no, these were prisoners of war. Every military in the world. What the Hamas was doing was taking these people, not necessarily for the intelligence collection benefit, but because Israel has thousands of Palestinians in prison. Most of them haven't been charged with anything, just existing. No due process. They're locked up forever. And if you take a look at what's happening now, the Israelis have gone to this strict regime. They're sleeping on stone beds, no mattresses, water, no other drinks, very rudimentary food. It's torture. It's literally torture. But the Israelis are doing it because this is what Israel does. Sad to say, but this is what they do. They had taken hostages, but they weren't very good at it. They had the hostages. They didn't have an evacuation plan. They got trapped. Here comes the Israeli Defense Force. There's one survivor who says, look, there was 20 of us in this building, 20 of us, and 8 Hamas people, and the Hamas people were ready to surrender. The Israeli forces wouldn't let them surrender. Took them under fire, took us under fire, killed 18 of us, killed the 8 Hamas people, wounded 1. I was unscathed. She tells the story. The head of the kibbutz security talks about how the tanks came in and just started arbitrarily firing into buildings, killing people. You know why they're sorting for bodies? Because the tanks set the building on fire and burned these people to death. It wasn't Hamas that